Yes, sir. Can you just put me up a little bit? Thank you. That's good.
It's time for the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan. Blake Sloan, one of the top real estate agents not only on the Grand Strand, but in the world. He's been featured in Forbes magazine, the Wall Street Journal, NBC, and many other publications. And now, the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan. We'll be talking to Blake Sloan coming up in mere seconds. In the meantime, let me give us some contact information because Blake is available. He and his team want to talk to you. Give them a call at Sloan Realty Group. Call them at 843-808-SOLD. Go ahead and try it out. Go ahead. Sloan Realty Group. Give them a call, 843-808-SOLD. Or you can go online to BlakeSloan.com, BlakeSloan.com. If you didn't get that contact info, we'll repeat it a lot over the next 30 minutes. In the meantime, let's get the show started. Here's Blake Sloan.
Good morning, everyone. Yes, like Dave said, call us anytime. My team is always hustling every weekend, this weekend, next weekend, the weekend after that, especially with all this craziness we've had lately with so many people in town. We've had buyers from all over in town buying while they're here, also still buying virtually. So it's been absolutely crazy. So this week, tons of great information. The market is still, not out of control, but it's still getting very close. It's super, super fast right now. We'll dig in and get into the brand new market numbers for anyone that missed last week's show. A bunch of new records in regards to the amount of buyer traffic, sales, all kind of stuff. We're seeing another inventory record, which we run into. We'll talk about that. We're still involved in that inventory crisis across the country. Not just here, but also in other areas across the country as well. This is the 55th straight week we've done this since the whole COVID lockdown, and we're still navigating this market, helping our clients navigate the best way and helping our listeners out there make the best decisions regarding real estate in the Grand Strand, both for homes, condos, commercial, whatever it may be. And so a bunch of cool stuff we'll go over. I had it on the list last week. We just did not get time to get to it. Myrtle Beach is named one of the fastest growing areas in the country by 3-year population growth. Very, very cool. We came up number 2 on that list. We'll talk about that. Interest rates all over the place. They're back up last week. They're back down a little bit this week, which is great news. And one thing, too, we're seeing consistently over and over and over is how much money people are leaving on the table, both with novice agents, and also I'm going to share an article that just talks about the dangers of selling yourself in a high-paced seller's market. And it's true. People think, well, you're just saying that because you're a realtor. Like, I see it every day. One of our success stories today, we got $20,000 more for the people than they thought they could get based on what they saw online. And we did it within 3 days. And so that's the type of things you run into. Now, if you use a novice agent, anytime we've been going up against people lately, we found that we're so much more engulfed in what's going on and what's happening. We know how far you can push it. And so we're finding ourselves in many cases telling us, hey, look, we can get you a little more money, up to $20,000, $30,000 more. And they're like, there's no way. The other person said we can get this, and we do it, and we get it. Not just get it, we get it within a couple of days. And so the market's so fast right now. We'll talk about some data that came out recently on a national level. It just talks about how much less the price was for people to try themselves. And also, even worse, the study showed how people who sold to someone they knew left even more money on the table. So very, very interesting numbers. We'll talk about that as well. Some amazing success stories. Our team's been pushing hard, been grinding hard, been positioning ourselves for this for a very, very long time. So we'll talk about those as well.
All right, sounds good. We're just getting started. If you're just tuning in for the very first time, you don't know who this guy is. Who is Blake Sloan? Well, he's been called the real estate whiz kid. He's been featured in Forbes magazine, Wall Street Journal, Realtor magazine, and other national publications as well. Maybe you've seen him on TV with NBC, with Fox and Friends, with the Morning Show. Also, you've heard the personal endorsements on this very radio station from Sean Hannity, from Glenn Beck, from Barbara Corcoran, Gary LaBonce, and others. Put them all together, it's an accomplishment unparalleled. It's unprecedented. Now, in addition to that, Blake has some trademark systems to help both home sellers and home buyers. Can't give you all the details on all those systems because they are trademarked and kind of the secret, but he is more than willing to tell you the most important part of that.
Yes, and again, this is not the why behind why I do the show, and really the calling for me behind this, because it's such a big deal. But for some reason, no matter how many times I say it over and over and over, people still make this huge mistake. And they make the mistake of thinking that all real estate agents are the same, and it could not be further from the truth. They just make this, mistake of thinking that, well, they all do the same thing and it's very similar. And especially in the way the market is right now, there's a massive, massive difference. Why is it? Because it's one of your largest assets. We're licensed professionals. And the best analogy I found too is like, look, if you're charged with a crime you did not commit, right? You're talking about your freedom here. Do you want some part-time attorney who may or may not try 3 or 4 cases a year? You want the absolute best in the country who's obsessed with that type of law, who's dug in and is going to push and fight hard for you. Of course, you want the one that's the latter. Then why would you expect anything less when you're dealing with your largest asset? People do it all the time. We had this past week someone very high-end, educated seller met with us, showed what we do, and we showed, hey, look, here's what we can do with our strategy. They said they had a friend in the business. Friend in the business going to do it for 1% less. Cool, whatever. Went with a friend and left $30,000 on the table. No, there's no BS there. They literally did $30,000 less than where we said we could get it from with our system, and allowed that to guide their decision, and obviously left money on the table. And they'll probably sell and think they did a great job. But in looking at numbers and the data, you want to make sure you push right now, because time and time again, we're seeing people that we're meeting with and we're showing them how we can get way more money for them, and we're actually getting it. Why is that? Because we have buyers from all across the country. There's all these moving pieces that matters, not just putting your house on some photos and MLS. And the reality is the single most important item that determines your success or failure as a home seller comes down to one thing and one thing only. And that thing is the agent you choose, period. Well, the reason is in selling a property, there's 118 different variables from A to Z. If each one's handled correctly, puts money in your pocket, anything's handled incorrectly, AKA they drop the ball, that costs you hard-earned equity and you leave money on the table. Right now, that could be from a misguided price strategy. It could be anything from the quality of the photos, the order of the photos. Does your agent answer the phone when a buyer calls them? If they do submit a buyer inquiry online, do they even call them back? And if they do call them back, how much time does it take to call them back? We've tested all those, and most of the time, it's horrendous in regards to the response you get, because you have one single agent trying to juggle all 118 different balls by themselves. And the reality is you just can't do that. And the analogy I use on the show all the time is that, look, that's like having the same person at McDonald's with their front register, the drive-through, and the French fries at the same time. But people do it every day and list their house with someone who could never do all 118 if they had to. And so the reality is what I did, I said, there's got to be a better way. I looked at what people did outside of real estate. I grew up in the business, mom, dad, aunt, uncle, grandpa, grandma. And I just always knew there had to be a better way, and really had a bigger calling. And so what I did is design this system called the Guaranteed Sold System. The only proven systems to sell them is twice as fast and for up to 20% more money than traditional methods. And it works very, very, very well. And what we did is we first identified every single variable. I said, man, you got to figure out what to do, the right things in the right order, wrote those down and created systems that create leverage for our client at every single point. And when you stack those variables up over 118, it creates a massive gap for our client in terms of competitive advantage. And so that's done proactively with teams, AKA people on a team, right? Not just one person. And also through technology and the software we built out to allow us to make sure we can proactively manage those to give you that competitive advantage. So right now in this super, super fast market, you owe it to yourself to at least investigate it, learn about it, compare the two, because it's such a big deal right now. We're seeing people leave so much money on the table by not taking the extra step to be able to look and see, here's how you get more money. Here's the strategy. Even right now, there are specific days you list your house on that gets you more money than the other ones, because it's how you stack it up and create an auction effect for buyers who come in and give them enough time to come in, bid up the price, and put more money in your pocket. And so there's all these things that need to be addressed, and you want to have someone who's in the trenches that can do that. Well, because most agents in our MLS sell about 4 homes a year. If you're selling 4 homes a year, they're not really, in depth and knowing what's going on in terms of pace of what's happening, all this other stuff. On the flip side, there's 100 plus variables for buyers out there. And we're seeing this happen a lot right now, where novice agents aren't able to help their clients navigate the current market because it's so crazy. You get multiple offers, you're getting all these different nuances, appraisal issues, all these things you have to have. And so for our buyer system, we did the same exact thing. We said, look, there's got to be a better way. Here's a system. I designed it. We basically trademarked all this stuff. It's called the Unfair Advantage Home Buying System. It gives you priority access to foreclosures, distressed deals, desperate sellers, the absolute best negotiation and purchase price, as well as negotiation, home inspection, and ultimately getting you to the closing table through the right vendors, attorneys, things like that. And so here's the deal, right? Everyone listens. If you listen for a while, you understand, but people make this huge, huge mistake. Super smart people, right? Who have great careers and great houses and businesses. I watch it happen every single day of them thinking that agents are the same, and it could not be further from the truth. If you want to know more about that, reach out, call us 843-808-SOLD.
All right, we are just getting started in the show. We've got a lot of stuff to get to in just a couple minutes, including some of the most important things we know the market is numbers you're going to hear all weekend. Mortgage rates, what are they right now? What does that mean to you? We'll find out all about that with Blake Sloan coming up in just a minute. Get in touch with Blake at his office at Sloan Realty Group. The phone number is 843-808-SOLD, 843-808-SOLD, or go online to blakesloan.com, blakesloan.com. Hey, if you were in the market to make the most money for your home, Sean Hannity here with some important advice. Now look, I'm an active investor. I have bought and sold a lot of properties in hot, cold, moderate markets. And one of the lessons I have learned is this: hire the agent that knows how to create the most demand for your home. Now, if I needed to create demand in this market, no question, there's only one real estate agent I trust if I needed to sell my home. I'm talking about Blake Sloan of Sloan Realty Group. Now, he services the entire Myrtle Beach area, attracts hundreds of buyers every week, and sells a home on average every 24 hours. Now, that helps you generate multiple offers and sell your home for the most money possible. Plus, it's like getting an immediate offer on your home, because if your home doesn't sell for the price of the deadline you agreed to, you will have it bought for cash, and he offers flexible fees. Find out how much demand your home can command right now. Call the agent that creates the most demand. Call Blake Sloan today at 808-SOLD. That's 808-SOLD. Or online at blakesloan.com. That's blakesloan.com.
Hi, I'm Barbara Corcoran. To sell your home on time for the most money, you need a sharp agent with a marketing strategy that creates the most demand. Bottom line, you need a partner willing to put their own money on the line for you. In Myrtle Beach, I would hire Blake Sloan. His international marketing creates so much demand that if your home doesn't sell at a price and deadline you agreed to, Blake will buy it. Partner with the agent I trust. Go online or call and get your home sold.
It's the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan. Call Blake at 843-808-SOLD or go online to blakesloan.com, blakesloan.com. Coming up in just a minute, mortgage rates. We'll see where they are right now. But how about the market? We know it's hot, but Blake, how hot?
Insanity. It's crazy. Like, just to give you an example, anybody that may have missed last week's show, we briefly got into it, but single family resale homes, which is pretty much what everyone has unless it's new construction, right? It's closed sales last month were up 49.6%. Huge number. I don't think we've ever seen that maybe once in the show's history, that type of number. So 742 properties under contract last month. For example, if you look at March of 2020, it's only 496. And so again, that March did have a little bit of a reduction because of the lockdown last year affected some of the closings, but even then you're still seeing a huge increase in regards to what's happening. Now, the great news, price still up like crazy. Median price right now up 19.9% at $285,000 for median price across the Grand Strand, which is great. Average price up 18.6% at $357,878, and so that's another pretty much scraping the all-time high that we just hit in February at $363. So we're right there, kind of staying flat along that line, which has been great overall, hitting new records in that. Now, the craziest part running to is inventory. It's the absolute lowest I've ever seen it, lowest since it's been tracked. We had a 76.1% decrease in the amount of inventory, which means there's 76% less homes available than the same time last year. And you add on top of that a 50% increase in closed sales, aka buyers looking. It's put massive pressure on price. We're getting multiple offers. We're getting our clients tons and tons of money, and really we're getting our clients a lot more than they think. Because here's the thing: we have people all the time. We look online, we watch the websites, or look at Realtor.com or Zillow, whatever it is, and that's all cool and all. But the data doesn't necessarily give you the full picture unless you're looking at multiple ones, like what's happening in the macro market, what's happening in the micro market, what's happening in my specific zip code. Then you add in top of that the pace of what's going on. And one of the craziest numbers that's really kind of driving that is showings per listing, which is really what we use to track buyer traffic. How many buyers are looking at properties right now? And from the same time last year, up 172.5%. 172% increase in the amount of showings this year from last year. Look at the charts, the highest it's ever been. And so that just goes to show everyone's coming down, everyone's coming looking. People have been, cooped up for a year, and we just obviously had spring break. Everyone's seen the craziness of there. And I was telling my wife about that too. Look, people haven't had spring break in 2 years. And so they're just ready to get out. People are itching to get down here. And we're seeing the same thing from buyers who've been scoping out, stalking properties for months and months and months. And now they're finally getting out and living that life. Mom, she got her vaccine a couple weeks ago, and she's back to living her best life, man. She's back in business now. So the reality is you're seeing that happen across the board. And guess where everybody's wanting to come? Myrtle Beach. We're still seeing part of that perfect storm, right? You still have some of the frustration with government up north. They're wanting to come down here where it's much more affordable. We're seeing people can work remotely now. People are taking early retirements. Just all kind of scenarios that really drives people here to Myrtle Beach. And so that's just something that's great for us in terms of long-term growth. And so that's just something that's really cool as well. If you look at condos, resale condos, guess what? Sales up there as well, 66.7% for condos with 782 last month closing. Again, that's also something we've seen a lot. A lot of those people that we talked about that my team's been staying in touch with for a year, 2 years, been stalking properties, looking. Well, they got paralyzed last year. They couldn't come down or didn't come down. And all of a sudden what happened was the single family house they liked and looked and wanted, they had saved favorites on. All of a sudden, those prices have gone up in the past few months. They can no longer afford that house. And so what they're doing now, they're switching that from single family to condos. And you're seeing that condo market boom now just from the lack of inventory that you're seeing in the single family side. And so that's been huge for us. We've been selling a lot of condos sight unseen. We both oceanfront and even other condos that are off, the beaten path a little bit. I just bought one 2 weeks ago. That's a condo right in Myrtle Beach. That's not oceanfront, but something we bought through our guarantee. And so there's just a lot of that opportunity there for anyone out there on the condo market as well, both purchasing as well as sales. Average sale price for condos up 18.5% last month, $190,420 is the average price. Median price up 12.6% at $156 even, which is also scraping the all-time high of $160. And so the reality is, guess what? You're seeing the same exact thing there in terms of the crisis is also inventory. It's like it falls off a cliff. Right now, we're at 68.4% decrease from the same amount of condos for sale last year and 1.8 months of inventory. And so that's one thing you're seeing massive buyer traffic up, 167% increase in buyer traffic on condos. And so as you can tell from the roads, as you can tell from anywhere you go, any restaurants downtown, guess what? People are in town. And people are also buying. We tend to find they'll combine their vacation with their purchase. They stalk and stalk and stalk for months at a time. Then boom, all of a sudden we come in. Some of our agents have been running till like 8, 9, 10 o'clock at night, showing properties right now to multiple buyers they have in town who they've been having a relationship with, via telephone for 6, 8, 12 months, helping them identify what they want. So the bottom line is you're thinking about selling, right? It's an amazing, amazing opportunity. Even tracking our weekly numbers, this is something that we started doing in COVID almost a year ago. How many properties go under contract every 7 days? Because that's we're going to tell you what's going to happen 30, 60 days from now. And we notice the peak we've had the past month or so has been about 800 to 840 a week. Going under contracts, 840 different properties. That's anything from commercial to condos to single families. The last 7 days right now, it's down a little bit to 765. The reason that's happening is there's just less inventory. There's less for sale. The buyers are still there. And so you're driving price up. Like, for example, a $3.8 million property on the ocean just went under contract in North Myrtle Beach this week on North Ocean Boulevard. The total number of price of properties under contract last 7 days, $209 million. I remember freaking out the first time we ever saw it hit $200 million. It's been steady above 200 for the past 2 months. And so that means there's a lot of people coming in town. You're going to see increase of sales in the next couple of months. Not sure how long it can last, how sustainable that is. So you definitely want to kind of time this right when everyone comes in town. School's getting out very soon. The spring breaks are happening right now. Definitely tee your property up for the right timing when people are coming in town. If you want to know more about that, call us 843-808-SOLD. One thing's been driving that is interest rates. Interest rates been super low. They jumped back up, right, to a very, very high number. Even a couple weeks ago, it got to 3.45%. Last week it was 3.39%. Right now it's 3.30%, which, looking at the long term, that's still super, super cheap. 15-year fixed rate right now, 2.75%. An FHA loan, 2.75%. A jumbo loan right now, 3.33%. And a 5-year ARM, adjust rate mortgage, is at 2.67%. And so money's still cheap, right? The weather's heating up. People are coming in town, and the market is still on fire. Again, all my friends are saying the same thing. Dude, we're not sure how long this is going to last, but it's lasting for now. Take advantage of that if you're thinking about selling at the top of the market for sure. We'll talk more about that in a minute.
Absolutely, yeah. Do not put it off. Get in touch with Blake as soon as possible. Coming up in just 1 minute, we still got plenty of show to get to. We'll look at your hot buyers alert. We'll look at some great success stories and hopefully not too many failure stories that might be out there as well, some horror stories. But we got a lot of stuff to get to yet. If you want to get in touch with Blake Sloan, easy to do. Call him at Sloan Realty Group. The phone number is 843-808-SOLD, 843-808-SOLD, or go online to blakesloan.com, blakesloan.com. Hey, Myrtle Beach, it's Gary LaVox, lead singer of Rascal Flatts. When I'm Moving On won the award for ACM Song.
We still have about 7.5 minutes.
Okay. Perfect. Do hot buyer success story.
Yeah, I got plenty of time.
All right, cool. Thank you.
That's why in Myrtle Beach, I can tell you that Blake Sloan of Sloan Realty Group markets your home on a whole different level. Now listen, Blake is so confident in his ability to sell your home quickly and for more money that he guarantees to sell it or he'll buy it himself. If you're moving on, trust Blake to provide your family a stress-free home sale experience. Find Blake Sloan online at blakesloan.com or you can call him at 843-808-SOLD. Start packing. It is the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan. Hey, get in touch with Blake because he and his team working with a ridiculous amount of home buyers looking for homes right here in the Myrtle Beach area. So if you have a home anywhere from $150,000 to $3.5 million, if you're even thinking of selling, go to the phone number that we've told you so many times, 843-808-SOLD, and then find out how they can help you. Now, how many people are out there looking for your home? Last I looked on Blake's website, there are 60,700 plus. So more than 60,000 people out there. And these are people who are looking on a regular basis, not just once a month or once a week. They're looking maybe once an hour to find out what the next deal is.
Yeah, stalking like crazy. And here's the crazy part. There's only like 2,500 homes for sale, which is like, and like Dave mentioned, these are real people, like username, password, account. Anybody listen to the show over and over, right? I get this question, like, what makes you different? Why should I, list with you versus anyone else? The reality is, since 55 weeks ago, whatever it was, when the pandemic started, I made a big announcement, like, I'm not slowing down spending. I'm not pulling back any of our advertising. We still advertise across the country. We've been stacking up buyers for months and months and months, over a year now. And we outspend the average agent 100 to 1. And what that equals is more eyeballs on your property, right? More traffic on your property, and allows us to drive the price up and sell it for more money. That's what makes the biggest difference when the most agents are just putting a sign in your front yard and praying that someone else brings a buyer. Why is that? Because they don't have a whole lot of money spending marketing. And so that's how the system breaks down. And we have buyers from across the globe right now on our website, live searching. Kelly Walker from Humboldt, Texas. I don't even know where that is, but she's on the site, been here 129 times. We got James Corcoran from Arlington, Virginia. I got Ed from Columbia, South Carolina. I got Tamara from Denver, Colorado. Sharon from Red Line, PA. I got Janice from Chapin, South Carolina. I got Concord, North Carolina, Inglewood, Colorado, Buffalo, New York, Parkville, Maryland. The reality is buyers from all over the country. And so one thing we get you is exposure. And so that's a big difference here in what we have. Again, like I mentioned before, you could probably take a classic Corvette, put it in the Walmart parking lot, probably sell it. Take the same classic Corvette, though, and put it in every Corvette enthusiast website, every Corvette enthusiast magazine. Guess what? I get more eyeballs on that Corvette, and I sell it for a lot more money. It's the same exact thing we do with your house. And so you owe it to yourself to reach out and call me for that. Myself and my team, who pushes super hard. Awesome success story. I just want to share a couple of them. John and Pamela, they owned a large home in Myrtle's Inlet, and because of their health, just wanted to downsize and not have as much upkeep. They recently made that decision to downsize. Thankfully, though, here's the coolest part. John and Pamela's neighbors had sold their home with us, Sloan Realty Group, and recommended they call us. Thankfully, John called us. We came and showed. Here's another example. We showed John and Pamela, who were very, very sharp, understood the market, saw the data, how we could get $20,000 more dollars than they thought they could get for it. And so this is key right now, because I've never in my career, been doing this 16 years and grew up in the business, have ever seen a time like this where we're coming in and helping people get 20 and 30 and 40,000 more dollars. In this case, we got them $20,000 more. They thought they could get, design a custom plan, launch our global marketing blitz, professional photos, virtual reality tour within 3 days, have massive amounts of buyers in their property, have multiple offers in the house, and got them a huge offer. Now they can move on with maximum equity in their pocket, which is cool. Also, Molly, she recently decided she's going to move back to the mountains of North Carolina. Need to sell her house in Myrtle Beach. She wanted to get top dollar. She did a lot of research on agents in Myrtle Beach. Realized there's one agent to call, which is us. Thankfully, we came in, designed a custom plan, launched global marketing blitz, professional photos, the virtual reality walkthrough, Within days, we had massive traffic, had an offer for 99% of asking price. And that was what's pushing the price high, and able to move to the North Carolina mountains now with maximum money in the pocket. And so that's just something right now. Another one we just got to Mike, who's an awesome radio listener of the show, right? Wanted to move back up north. Came in, called us. Thankfully, he knew who to call first because he listens to the show. We came in, we showed him exactly how we can get $20,000 more dollars than he thought he could. He was blown away. We came in, designed a custom marketing plan, launched our global marketing blitz, and under contract in one single day. And so right now, it's not just about selling it. It's about how do you put the most amount of money in your pocket. Anybody can sell it, right? Put a sign in the yard, but the reality is, do you put the extra $20,000, $30,000, $40,000? And so that's the thing we talked about last week. Is like, look, everybody's got a friend in real estate, everybody, right? Because there's more realtors than there are houses for sale right now. But the difference is, does that realtor put extra $30,000, $40,000 in your pocket? That's a great friendship, but is it worth 40 grand? That's a great question I want you to ask yourself, because that's the difference it makes right now when you have someone with national and international buyers that bring them to your front doorstep that'll create a bidding war and pay you more money for your house. And so if you have that and you're thinking about that, you owe it to yourself to call us. 843-808-SOLD for sure. And that's super important right now, what we're seeing. How much time we got left? So there's something too, like right now, this national study came out, and this big real estate data firm called Keeping Current Matters, and they keep up, and it says, don't sell on your own just because it's a seller's market. And, everybody hears that and you think, oh, it's going to be biased. This is a fully independent thing here. It just says, typically, for-sale owners sell for less than selling price of other homes. FSBO homes sold a median $217,900 in 2020, right? Agent-assisted homes sold for a median price of $295,000. So significant difference there in that aspect, a difference of about $70,000 plus more dollars. And so that just goes to show the difference in terms of the exposure. And there's nothing right now more powerful than the open market. Same thing I've been telling a lot of our potential clients, where I just want an investor to buy my house. So, okay, that's cool, but I can sell it on the open market to owner occupants who sold their $600,000 house in New York, and they want to buy yours at $300,000. They think that yours is a steal. Meanwhile, an investor is trying to offer you $250,000. And so that's why these details matter right now. Here's the crazy part. They tracked all FSBOs, right, through this national study. 217,900, like I mentioned, was the median. People who sold it to a buyer they knew, median price is 176,700. And so I get that all the time. Hey, I got my friend, they're going to take care of me. And I used to, even myself being in business, like, these studies are probably a little bit biased, but like right now, we're having people who are super sharp, super smart, who like live online on like Zillow or Realtor or whatever it is. And we're saying, look, dude, here's how fast the market is. Here's how many buyers we got. I guarantee you we can get $20,000 more dollars than what you think. And their eyes light up. They're blown away. And that's what it means to we're literally 12 plus hours a day. I filmed a really cool video. If you want to check it out on our website, just Google Sloan Realty Group, go to our website. On our front page, I just share one of the mornings with our team, like behind the scenes. Again, I'm up every morning at 5:30, at the gym by 6. Our team's hustling, training at 8 o'clock. We have a 9 o'clock huddle, and then we're off to the races. And I show you guys in the video behind the scenes just how we do it. While most agents haven't even woken up yet, we're hustling. They don't even go to the office. They don't even get dressed. We're dressed, ready to go. And you can see that behind the scenes on our website if you want to check it out.
Well, if you want to get up earlier, I can call you at like 3 when I'm
Yeah,
on my way to work.
I know. I'm right behind you every morning for sure.
3:30, I'm already getting ready to get started. Anyway, if you want to get in touch with Blake Sloan, you can. Feel free to give him a call at Sloan Realty Group. The phone number, again, one more time, 843-808-SOLD, 843-808-SOLD, or go online to blakesloan.com, blakesloan.com. Thanks for all the great info, Blake. We'll do it again next
Thanks, Dave. I'll be here.
All right, sounds good. It's the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan. Selling your home doesn't have to be filled with drama or having to pay hidden fees. And your friend Sean Hannity here to tell you, as an active investor.
Thanks so much, Brandon. Appreciate you, buddy.
And working with the smartest local agents who sell homes at high volume, prepare your home to create the most demand when it does go on the market to sell for the highest price. And don't fill your life with drama while you wait for your home to sell. When I want to know what's happening, there's only one agent I call. I'm talking about Blake Sloan of Sloan Realty Group. Now, every single day on average, he sells